Oil prices have already moved higher, but the real question is, how high can they actually go? To answer that, you need to understand what really drives oil. It all comes down to supply and demand, but in times like this, supply is the key. When supply is stable, prices tend to stay under control. But when supply is disrupted, things can move very quickly. And right now, the biggest risk is not demand. It's disruption. A large portion of the world's oil flows through critical routes like the Strait of Hormuz. If that flow is reduced or blocked, even temporarily, global supply tightens immediately. And when supply drops while demand stays the same, prices rise. But oil doesn't just move based on reality. It moves based on expectations. Markets don't wait for disruption to happen. They price it in early. That's why you often see oil rising before any actual shortage occurs. So, how high can oil go? That depends on how severe the disruption becomes. In a mild scenario where tensions rise but supply still flows, oil could move higher gradually. In a more serious scenario, where supply is partially disrupted, prices could spike much faster. And in an extreme scenario where major routes are blocked or production is significantly reduced, oil could move sharply in a very short time. But there's another side to this. When prices rise too quickly, demand can fall. Higher energy costs slow down economies, reduce consumption, and eventually put pressure on prices. So oil markets are always balancing between supply shocks and demand destruction. That's why oil rarely moves in a straight line. It spikes, pulls back, and then moves again as new information comes in. For traders and investors, the key is not to predict the exact price. It's to understand the direction of risk. Is supply becoming tighter? Are disruptions increasing? Or is the situation stabilizing? Because oil is not just a commodity. It's a signal. A signal of geopolitical tension, economic stress, and global uncertainty. And that's why oil matters far beyond just energy. Because in reality, this isn't just about oil prices. It's about how fragile the system really is. And the real question is, what happens to markets if oil keeps rising from here?